So it's Memorial Day, and I thought I would talk about Jesus. I'm just joking. I just wanted to make you guys feel a little uncomfortable. I'm going to talk about death because it's Memorial Day. I mean, that's what we're supposed to contemplate, is the sacrifice made by hundreds of thousands of individuals to bring us our freedom so we can enjoy and live our lives the way that we want to live them, that we can have peace in this world, and the sacrifices those individuals have made. And so what I do is, I'm an estate planning attorney. I help people prepare for their death. And so today, I memorialize that by creating more estate plans than I've ever created in my life. Created 8 trusts today. And it was an interesting experience as I sat down and I was creating these documents for these individuals, going through them and thinking about the conversations I've had with so many people over the years about death. But the thing that struck me the most today, it was my experience that I have when I have someone come in for a probate and they've just lost somebody. And the overwhelming amount of emotions that come from these individuals. Usually it's so much that they cannot help but cry. And I've been reading a lot about a philosopher. His name's Soren Kierkegaard. I really struggle saying his name. I don't know why, but and he was an interesting individual, born at the beginning of the 1800s, and he didn't live long. He died in the 1840s. He lived, I think, to only be like 38 or something like that, but wrote some very profound stuff. I mean, he's the founder of existentialism, and so he's very famous. And then he, as an individual, had a very unique experience in life, that he saw the death of every one of his siblings and his parents at a young age. They all died, and he himself was able to draw from this an understanding that's pretty profound to me as I've tried to come to understand death and why I don't seem to comprehend death at the level that my clients understand it. And he made a distinction, and he's called this distinction an objective understanding, or objective knowledge versus subjective knowledge. Objective knowledge is, you know that someday you're going to die. You know that's going to happen. You've seen it. You've seen everybody passes away. You see a cemetery, and you know someday that will be your residence. But you don't really understand it. Subjective knowledge is experience knowledge, and you never experience your own death. You can never experience that, or I guess you experience it, but then there's no way to communicate anything after it. You know, after it's over, it's done. But subjective knowledge is experiencing it, and the closest thing that people have to that is the death of their loved ones, which is something that I've only experienced really once. Was the passing of my grandmother. But she wasn't really close to me the way like a spouse is close to somebody. Right? Or a child. Because that's the real tough one for individuals to grasp and handle. And over the weekend, I had an individual come in, and he had lost his daughter. And it was interesting because I sat there and I don't know what to say to this individual, because I personally don't understand what he understands. I don't have that knowledge. I will someday, or maybe not, but I mean, I might pass away before anybody close to me passes away, but most likely I will have that experience and I will understand it someday. But right now I don't understand that. And so here I am trying to help an individual that clearly understands something far better than I understand it. They've experienced to a level that they can, and I look at it and I'm able to offer a lot of relief, and I'm going to say, why? How can I offer so much, almost a feeling like things are starting to get back to a little normal? And I realized basically what's happened is when someone passes away that's really close, the closer they are, the more the chaos that comes from there. is this vacuum in your life of something pulled apart from you. And only thing that you see is chaos. And the only way to really get through the chaos is to reorganize and order that life back into some kind of structure. Some kind of structure that works. Some kind of structure that makes the individual feel like life is coming back. And that's usually what I do is I go, okay, well, I can do the probate. I'll handle this issue for you. I'll get these things back together as best I can for you. Now, of course, it doesn't resolve anything close to the amount of issues that come from a passing, but it's something. And then I realized as I was creating these estate plans today, that's really the gift of estate planning. That's what someone's doing for another person, is they're bringing order to the future chaos that's going to happen from the death, because you will die. It's a reality. And from that reality, chaos is going to ensue in these people's lives. And the only thing that's going to put everything back together is somebody putting things back together and organizing it in such a way that people can continue on with their lives. And that's all estate planning really is. It's this idea that you're going to offer that gift, the gift of organizing and reordering a life after you're gone. And that's something very powerful and something very beautiful to do for those that you love. So on this Memorial Day, that's my message, is take the time out and understand that that's a reality that's going to happen for those that you love, is that when you pass away, chaos will ensue in their lives. And the only thing that you can do for them is help them to reorganize that and reorder it in a way that things will be easier for them in the future.